Victory Studios in downtown Little Rock, this is Capitol View.
And good Sunday morning to you. Welcome into a very special, thankful Capitol View. As you can see, we are in the governor's conference room, joined by none other than the governor himself. Boss, how you been? For you, I know it's been an interesting year, to say the least.
Well, Jay, it has. This is not something any governor bargains for, to go through a pandemic. And of course, now we're into our 8th month, and we're still struggling with it. I'm so proud of Arkansas, though, as to how they have responded. They understand the seriousness of it. They're taking the measures they need to, and we're going to get through it together, but it has been a very, very challenging year.
I guess for you personally, when you see the numbers, especially the past month, when you get that daily report, I mean, just emotionally, how do you react to that? You know, 1,500, 18, over 2,000 cases that we were seeing in some of those days, and then obviously all the other things you see, you know, the climbing number of deaths, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, how do you react to that?
Well, you know, your emotions go up and down because you want us to do very well, and anytime you see an increase in cases, you know what that means 2 weeks from now. You know that there's going to be more people in the hospital, and a certain percent of those are going to die. And so it's a struggle, you know, every day when we study those numbers, and you know, there's great days when you see the cases go down, you're beating the projections, and people are being released from the hospital. But then there's other days, and I always look first at the hospitalizations because that is the guiding light as to whether we have sufficient capacity for our healthcare needs. And right now that is tight, and that's what we're focused on, actually, to relieve some of the pressure in our hospitals. But it starts with reducing our cases. I
guess what's been your philosophy as this thing's gone along? Obviously, you know, the longer we've been in this pandemic, you kind of tend to learn a thing or two about what, you know, how this virus reacts, you know, what works, what doesn't work. But I guess kind of what's been your mindset from day one, or has that evolved as this thing has gone about?
Well, I think most importantly that we have to achieve a balance as we approach this. And, you know, the balance is always tilted toward the public health and controlling the spread of the virus. But you know, at some point we realize that we've got to go ahead and have school, we've got to have work, we can't shut down businesses. And so that is a balance where how can we do these things, which is life and living and providing for our families, at the same time we do it in a healthy way. That has been the ultimate goal that I've been trying to achieve, but it takes that's something I can't do by myself. The government can't do it. It takes each individual taking that responsibility, and that's where I think the people of Arkansas, they're not perfect, but they're taking it very seriously, and you can starting to see the difference.
Has there been a level of frustration at times with this? I mean, not just, you know, you've got the general public who always has their ideas and their opinions on things, but then also too, when you see those numbers kind of the way they've been maybe about the past month, knowing that the information that we currently have is, you know, if you put your mask on, if you do all the certain things, but people still seem to be you know, hesitant to kind of strictly follow those things.
Well, you've got some that don't want to follow any mandates, any directions. It's that independent spirit, which I respect, but public health requires us to be responsible, and that's why we stress it. But then you have others that want an easy solution from government. Why don't you see the cases go up? Why aren't you shutting the schools down? Why aren't you closing restaurants? Why aren't you closing gyms? And so you get pressure from both sides there, and that's where, you know, whenever we were early in the pandemic, you could put some restrictions on, and we had ways to compensate to help some of the businesses, but that's gone. And so it is just wrong to take away someone's livelihood and a service they provide when they are doing it in a safe way. And
I guess that's sort of the key right there.
It is the key, and that's why, you know, we focused on the enforcement side. We have our compliance officers going out there, and if somebody is willfully and they're not following the guidelines, then they get a citation. And I'm speaking of restaurants or bars, public facilities, and including retail shops if the public health department becomes aware of it.
Let's switch gears here a little bit to budget stuff. You had a very interesting budget to present to legislators a few weeks ago. One of the more, out-of-the-box interesting things was the proposed income tax for newer residents to the state. I guess what was sort of the thought process behind that? Kind of what's the idea?
The idea is grow our economy. Next year we're going to go down to a 5.9% individual income tax rate in Arkansas. That did not happen simply by holding the line on the state budget and reducing the growth of spending. It also happened because we were creating jobs, we had a growing economy. And so if we give a 4.9% income tax rate to new residents of Arkansas for the first 5 years, what does that do for us? That helps us to attract tech talent, skilled workers to this state. It's a selling point for manufacturing companies to come to Arkansas. But it also sends the signal to everyone that this is where we want to get for the taxpayers of Arkansas as well. And so it's sort of a delayed reward, and that's hard to sell because the legislators have to go home and say, this is not going to benefit you now, but it will benefit you down the road because your income tax rate will get there as well.
All right, so it's going to be an interesting road to get there. We got much more with Governor Asa Hutchinson here. We got another question here. We had something on the show last week. I want to get your thoughts on that. Stick around. More Capitol View coming up.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back into Capitol View. Joining again, Governor Asa Hutchinson here in the governor's conference room. Lovely room. I love the table. It takes up a lot of space though, but I guess that's okay considering that's the day and age that we're in here. Going into break there, we were talking about an interesting tax break. I do want to ask though on that newer residents, what do we consider newer residents to the state, and would that sort of kick in after that tax proposal would be passed, or would that sort of be retroactive for some folks?
Well, that's some of the specific language we have to work out with the General Assembly, but you want to make sure it's done in a way that people don't game the system, that they move out and they come back and say they're a new resident. You've got to have, the guardrails in there to make that protected. But it would be prospective because we're not trying to reward people who've already moved here. We're trying to reward people who make a decision to come here and to use that as a recruiting tool. And so let's see what the legislature does. It's very important to note that I allocated $50 million out of our surplus. And we had a $240 million surplus during tough economic times. That's good management of our state budget. We want to put $100 million of that into our long-term reserves so we increase our savings in our state. We want to put more money into rural broadband so we can help deliver internet service to the rural areas of our state. And then we're allocating $50 million for a lower middle income tax cut for Arkansans. And so even though I've put that in there as an innovative idea of 4.9% for new residents, we're not forgetting about Arkansans, and we're lowering the rate for them, and we're allocating more money to have additional relief for them as well.
Speaking of innovative ideas, Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin came on the show last week, had a pretty innovative idea himself, saying he would like to see eventually the state income tax phased out altogether. I guess kind of what are your thoughts on that? And again, he did say phase it out, so not just a hard elimination of that.
Well, I mean, first of all, he's a candidate for governor in 2022, and so that's a something he wants to run for governor on. I'll let them sort that out, between him and the Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, who's running. Now, in terms of the tax cuts, I've always said that we can lower our rate down to 5, I've said, but 4.9 is probably manageable without having to raise other taxes. And so I don't want to raise our sales tax in Arkansas. I don't want to raise our property taxes in Arkansas. And you've got to look at the whole comprehensive system in our state as to how it works. You always can't just compare to what they're doing in Texas or another state. And we've been able to lower our taxes in Arkansas. We restored the funding to higher education that we had to cut because of a tight budget. We have given the largest increase in K through 12 education expenses for any time in the past decade. And so we're managing our budget in a way that we can lower taxes, and we can also make sure that we provide for education and the critical needs of our state.
You mentioned rural broadband. Now that the CARES Act money kind of goes away, or at least as of now anyways, we'll see what the federal government does. What's the plan for that funding mechanism going forward, or is that still something that has to sort of be worked out by the General Assembly?
Well, we've already put, I think it's 25 million, something like that, of general revenue into our broadband efforts, and then we've put in even a larger amount of the CARES Act funding into it. And so we've got a very robust program of grants to our communities and our providers to expand that internet. Now, since the federal money is not coming in that fashion, we're looking at putting $30 million, I believe is what I proposed, more money of general revenue into broadband. The response of the legislature is we need to do more, which I am thrilled with that. And so we might be able to put more money into that, and that allows us to accelerate breaking that digital divide that has really become prominent during this pandemic. Not everybody's getting treated equally out there because not everybody can work remotely, and because not everybody has internet high-speed access in their rural community.
I guess you could say, is that one of the few, silver linings, if you will, to this pandemic, is the fact that a lot of these, or some of these issues, sort of got thrust to the front of everybody's, thought process, and it's like, we really do have to address some of these things, even though it was a more long-term type plan, but now it's been accelerated quite a bit.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It was urgent before, and now it's super urgent in terms of our rural broadband capacity. It's accelerated the growth and utilization of telemedicine in Arkansas that will continue to be very prominent in our healthcare plans of the future. It has certainly stressed the challenge that we have in our rural schools, and how, while we've got high-speed broadband in our schools, we don't have it when the student goes home. And so it's just illustrated how fast we need to move to close that divide, and that helps us to grow. It helps the quality of life for those that live here, and it helps us in state government to be able to provide more services online, and saves and becomes more efficient.
All right, so now that we got through the softball questions here, let's get to the real heavy stuff. I guess with Thanksgiving having been this past week, side dish. What's a go-to side dish for you?
Well, it's become jalapeno duck poppers. And so I just did a little duck hunting over the weekend. I got my ducks ready, and so we've got the duck breast. I put them with jalapenos. We put them with cream cheese. I cook them outside, and they're a hit.
All right, we might have to bring you back on. You can whip those things up on the show for us here. You guys need to post that recipe. All your folks in here need to get on that. So I guess too, is there anything, like, lastly, you want to stress to folks as we get into this holiday season? I know you and Dr. Romero have really stressed, the gathering thing, but is there anything else that you really need to feel to stress to folks when it comes to the holiday season and the pandemic?
Well, on the serious side, it is what we do in Thanksgiving is going to determine what our Christmas is like. And so I've been impressed. I've talked to a lot of people, and they've restrained the crowd and the gatherings. They've thought it through. They understand the importance of safety. And so that's a serious side of it. But what I don't want to miss is the importance of Thanksgiving and how we have so much to be grateful for, even during a stressful time. There's ways that we can be close to our family. But you think of the beautiful outdoors that we have. We think about the freedoms that we have in our country. I think it's an opportunity this season to be grateful, and whenever you're grateful, that helps our mood as well.
All right, well, we certainly are thankful and grateful that you took time with us this week, and we certainly do appreciate it, and we wish you nothing but the best here when it comes to the holiday season. I know you've got some ball games that you're keeping up with as well, and I guess for me, as long as they're not playing Sylvan Hills, good luck to your grandson out there.
We're going to hopefully win. Thank you very much, Jay.
You bet. We got much more Capitol View coming up after this.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
We put the call out to our elected officials to tell us what they were thankful for, and I am thankful that they showed up in big numbers. Take a look.
Good afternoon. I'm Denise Enid, the state representative for District 36. I'm thankful for my family, my health, and all my wonderful constituents that I represent. I need everyone to listen. We are living in unprecedented times, and we need to take heed. We need to practice the 3 W's. Wash your hands, wear your mask, watch your distance. Combined together, we can help get these numbers down. So please heed the 3 W's, and everybody have a safe holiday. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Doyle Webb, Chairman of the Republican Party of Arkansas, and I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. You know, Thanksgiving was started by President George Washington as a time that we should stop and reflect. I have to be thankful for a wonderful state government, a wonderful wife, a wonderful family, and for our good health. May you enjoy the same in 2021. God bless you, and God bless America.
Hi, I'm State Representative Reginald Murdoch, and I'm so happy to have the opportunity to tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for all of the blessings that God has bestowed upon me from my early existence up until now. In the world that we live in, especially today with the pandemic being as it has been in many of our lives, me personally and many that I know, I sit back and I can be nothing but show thankfulness to God for the way that He has brought me through the toughest times that we've seen in our world. The world is a topsy-turvy place. Now it's been turned upside down by this pandemic, and there are many people that are suffering tragic losses. I'm thankful to God that He has seen me through these tough times. I'm thankful to have the opportunity to help others through these times. The greatest thing you can do with a blessing is share it with someone else. So what I'm thankful for more than anything is the opportunity to share. The opportunity to share and care for someone else. God has blessed me with a wonderful family. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my friends, my church family, and I'm thankful to be able to serve you in the state of Arkansas as one of your state representatives. Thank you so much, and please be thankful during this season. God bless.
Hi, I'm Andrea Lee, Auditor of State. A wise person once told me I should start each day with a gratitude, and it would affect my attitude for the remainder of the day. Admittedly, it's been tough during 2020 to do that, but I have found something to be grateful for each day. I hope you have too. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Hi, my name is Mike Sanders with the Sherwood City Council. And I am so thankful for my family and friends. And from my family to yours, we want to wish you a very happy and safe holiday.
I'm Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, and this Thanksgiving, we have so much to be thankful for, even during these trying times. First, we need to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And let's thank God for all the many blessings that we have. Let's look at our families, those who are suffering. Let's lift them up. Let's give them what they need. Let's thank our military, our law enforcement officers, our healthcare workers, and everyone who's working hard all day, every day, to make sure that we have what we need to get through these challenging times. Let's also be thankful that we live in the greatest country that the world has ever known. So this Thanksgiving, let's stop and give pause to all those who have given so much. I'm also very thankful for all of my family, and certainly my lovely, lovely daughter, Juliana Carroll, and my husband, Boyce. God bless each and every one of you. God bless the state of Arkansas. And as always, friends, God bless the United States of America. Happy Thanksgiving.
Every day is truly a day of Thanksgiving. Even in the midst of this pandemic, we still have so much to be thankful for. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I would like to express how thankful I am for my family, for my friends, for my village. I'm thankful for the fact that I've been given the opportunity to serve the great people of the state of Arkansas in District 55. One way we can express our attitude of gratitude is to be kind to one another. So God bless you and happy Thanksgiving.
Hi, this is State Senator Trent Garner. I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. 2020 has been a hard year, but we still have plenty to be thankful for. We live in the greatest country this world has ever seen. We have friends and family we can spend this holiday with, and we're blessed to be under God's saving grace. And while there's many things we can be thankful for, I always like to take a minute to say a special thank you to our men and women in uniform. They're serving us overseas so that we can have this great time with our friends and family, and many of them don't get to come home during the holidays. So while you're celebrating Thanksgiving, eating that great turkey, and watching that football game, take a minute to say thank you to our men and women serving in the military. Once again, this is State Senator Trent Garner. It's such a blessing to be able to represent you in the State Senate. I hope you have a great holiday.
Hello, this is State Representative David Felton. I'm so thankful, first of all, have such a supportive and loving family, but most of all, I'm so thankful that Almighty God blessed me with mercy and grace each and every day. Thank you so very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Hi, this is Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. I just wanted to take a moment to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We are so fortunate and so blessed to live here in the United States and in this wonderful state of Arkansas. I hope you and your family and all your loved ones have a blessed and safe Thanksgiving.
I'm Virginia Young, Mayor of Sherwood, Arkansas. I am thankful for my health and for my family.
As we gather with family and friends during this Thanksgiving holiday, I hope we can all take time to reflect on the many blessings in our lives. I am thankful for my family, this great nation, and the opportunity that I have to serve the great people of Arkansas. I wish all of you a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Hello, Arkansas. Treasurer State Dennis Milligan here. One of my happiest times of the year, Thanksgiving. And what am I thankful for, Jay Burr? I'm thankful for my beautiful Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, my family, of course, my friends, the opportunity to serve Arkansans, and I'm just wishing everyone out there a very happy Thanksgiving.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Well, we're glad you woke up from your nap long enough to take in Capitol View this week. We'll see you again here this time next week. Make sure you get the Capitol View podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Have a good rest of the weekend. We'll see you again next week.